What is an idiom? An idiom is a phrase or expression where the meaning of the phrase is not apparent from the words in the phrase. Basically, you have to take the phrase as a whole because it will mean something different to the individual words. The advanced answer is an idiom is a phrase or expression using figurative language. An idiom's meaning is not necessarily linked to the words contained in the phrase, but rather, due to its common use over time, has taken on its own meaning as a standalone phrase. Due to its figurative nature, idioms are widely used phrases. Some idioms remain close to the literal meaning of the phrase, but become a commonly used expression in a certain circumstance. Often, idioms originate from an original literal phrase. For example, bite the bullet, which has become a more unusual circumstance today. However, bite the bullet remains a popular phrase. It means just do it, go for it. And it's now used in a broader set of circumstances than the original idiom. In other examples, the origin of the phrase was deliberately figurative, such as break a leg. Ow! In this case, the idiom was created to avoid superstition of giving bad luck to actors by saying, good luck! Oh! So instead, we say, break a leg! Not literally. So hang on, what is figurative language? Literal language is the direct translation, the exact meaning of the words used. For example, Fred sat down. This literally means Fred sat down. Figurative language, such as idioms, metaphors, and similes, use words and ideas to make a point or suggest a meaning that is different or goes beyond that of the exact or literal meaning of the words used. Figurative language uses figures of speech to give colour to the point that the speaker or writer is trying to make, often trying to create an image in the mind of the listener. So what's the difference between an idiom, a metaphor, and a simile? Idioms, metaphors, and similes are all types of figurative language. There are a number of other types of figurative language which we won't go into here, but it's reasonable to say that whenever your language goes beyond the literal meaning of the words used, then it's in the realm of figurative. Can you say that? Figurative. Okay, a simile is used to compare two things which have a similar quality. Simile, similar. See the connection? Similes usually use like or as to create the comparison. For example, as white as a sheet, or the lake was like a mirror. A metaphor is a statement that compares two very different things in order to give the object additional qualities. Unlike a simile, a metaphor doesn't directly compare things using as or like. For example, my boss is a dragon. Her boyfriend is a toad. An idiom is different to a simile and a metaphor in that it's not used for comparison of things, but rather to describe a situation. For example, if I've been babysitting and the children were well behaved, I could use the simile, she was as good as gold. Or the metaphor, she is an angel. Or the idiom, babysitting for them was plain sailing. So you see, they're all slightly different. Why are idioms important for ESL learners? Idioms are a more advanced part of the language, which are important to master if you're looking to use English at a higher level and sound confident and natural in your communication. It's often said that idioms are necessary to sound like a native speaker, and while this is true in part, they are not essential to necessarily use, but certainly they are important to be familiar with as native English speakers use them regularly. We've already seen, as a part of figurative language, they are difficult to understand without already knowing what they mean as a whole. Are idioms formal or informal? The answer is neither. Idioms are a normal part of language and can be used in any situation. Some idioms are certainly inappropriate for some situations. However, business is full of idioms. For example, raise the bar or get ahead of the curve. How do you use idioms properly? Using idioms properly is the biggest challenge. If you use an idiom that is not very common or is delivered incorrectly, they can sound forced and unnatural. As an ESL speaker, your goal should be to speak in a clear and confident way that makes the listener listen to what you say rather than how you're saying it. Have you ever been engrossed in a film and then suddenly you're snapped out of it by thinking, hang on a minute, that's not right? Well, using an inappropriate idiom or saying an idiom incorrectly will do the same thing with a listener. Therefore, work out how to use simple, common idioms with fluency and grace. And in fact, I'm going to share 10 common idioms with you now. Number 1, under the weather. This means to be feeling ill. I'm not coming to work today. I'm feeling a little under the weather. Number 2, the ball is in your court. This means the next action is with you. I've already given a counter offer. The ball's in your court now. Number 3, spill the beans. This means to share a secret. Come on, Sally, spill the beans. Did you two kiss or what? Number 4, you're pulling my leg. This means to play a joke on someone or to suggest someone is playing a joke on you. No, there's no way I've won the lottery. You're pulling my leg. Number 5, take it with a pinch of salt. This means to not believe it fully. I'd take those numbers with a pinch of salt though. You know polls are not always accurate. Number 6, you can say that again. This means to agree on the trueness of something. Usually we only hear this, we wouldn't write this. We need this launch to work or the business will fail.
You can say that again.
Number 7, see eye to eye. This means to agree. James and Stuart are always arguing. They never see eye to eye on anything. Number 8, to beat around the bush. This means to not get to the point, you're just talking around it. Oh, Juan doesn't half beat around the bush. He never just makes a quick point. Number 9, to miss the boat. To miss the boat means to miss an opportunity. I always wanted to go to the concert, but I missed the boat and now the tickets are sold out. Number 10, by the skin of your teeth. This means you've only just achieved something. Whoo! The team won that game by the skin of their teeth. My heart. So there were 10 very common idioms. If you can think of any more, then do leave it in the comments section below. Now there are thousands and thousands of idioms in the English language, and if you'd like to test your idiom knowledge as well as learn some more commonly used idioms, head over to my blog page where we will test your knowledge and give you lots more valuable content. Until next time, take care and goodbye.